going to get backlash for this. Watch. Okay, without further ado, everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Holly Baglio, broadcasting to you live from Holly Television Studios in my beautiful home state of Garden, New Jersey. I want my HTV. Okay. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, and I do not have anything prepared or written down. I ask that Yud Hey Vav Hey speak through me to discuss this topic. And this is a very big topic, everyone. Good morning, Jamie. My prayers are with and for you to overcome any addiction issues. Good morning, Bible Code Theory Research. Shalom. I wanted to touch on this subject of incest. Nick E., I got your email. Nick E., I was not around at all yesterday. At all. I will get back to you. Just please be patient with me. Please. My love and prayers for you and your family. So, I come into contact with, hey, Chris. I gotta catch up on your videos, I think. Unless I'm confusing you, Chris, with someone else. There was someone else that asked me a while ago to check out their video, and I got distracted and never did. If that's you, I deeply apologize. Okay, I wanted to talk about incest. I'm a survivor of MKUltra, SRA, and DID. I come from deep underground military bases, DUMBs. Since I came forward to the public, August 2016, it has afforded me meeting a lot of people. And I'm really humbled and grateful. And I love everybody that I've met. But one of the biggest and hardest testimonies that I have ever heard and accepted from someone else is about incest. Like when other people come to me and they say, Holly, I read your autobiography, and with all the spiritual attacks you've been under and with the things you talk about, I know you'll believe me. You're not going to think I'm crazy. So I've been blessed in meeting new people. The hardest thing, though, is when they give me their testimony and they tell me what happened to them, the biggest thing is incest. Hey, Babu. Andrew, it's great to see you guys. I love you. So, incest is way more common than the general public wants to admit. You want a breakdown of my Bible code, Babu? I actually did a video on it once. I can tell you my Bible code's big. If you're talking about my Bible code, Holly Baglio Super Soldier, the picture that I have at the top right-hand corner of my screen, that's one of 3 pages. If you want, I'll take an intermission from talking about incest, and I'll explain it real quick to you, if you'd like. I have to retrack. Okay. No problem, Nikki. And what happened to our son? Okay, so let's see. All right. Hang on a second. So there you go. right? Can you guys see my cursor? I will, Chris. I'm going to get back to the incest. Okay, real quick for my Holy Bible Code, if you can see my cursor. Up and down here, that's Holly Baglio. Below my name, going across 4 times, it looks like, I thought, stairs. But someone else said, well, if you stand back far enough and you look at it, it almost looks like it's a horse. So my name is in purple up and down. That's Holly Baglio. And below it, it says Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey. It has remnant written across the top. It has She Is Mine. The angels, the messenger of God, I think it's Gabrielle, comes out in my Bible code. They looked up Holly Baglio and Holly Baglio Super Soldier, and I came up under both, Holly Baglio and Holly Baglio Super Soldier. It says over in your left-hand side over here, it says that I am broken physically and I am broken mentally, but I am not broken in my spirit. It says that I'm flawless because his blood covers me. It's his blood covering me that makes me flawless in his sight. It says, Yud Hey Vav Hey says, She Is Mine. His name, Yud Hey Vav Hey, comes up in my Holy Bible Code. Mine was actually a pretty big one. Sandy and Doug really, they got to explain it more to me again, but what can I tell you? So he says I'm his remnant. My angels show up in here. And what else can I tell you? I kind of actually forget. I got to go back and refresh myself. But this is one of the 3 pages that I got. My name, Holly Baglio, and Holly Baglio Super Soldier, goes through all the books of the prophet in the Holy Bible. It goes through Samuel, King of Kings. It goes through Psalm 119. And Psalm 119, I think, is the longest, most beautiful psalm there is in the Holy Bible. So my name goes through the King of Kings, Psalms 119, all the books of the prophets, like Jeremiah. My name comes up in Jeremiah, big time in Jeremiah. I don't look at Holy Bible codes as a method to predict the future. I found that my Holy Bible code reassured me in my relationship with him that I am his and he is mine. Yes, Babu, Psalm 119. I love you, Nikki. Yep, Jeremiah, all the prophets. But yeah, big time my name came up in Jeremiah. Trying to think what else. Boy, I found this out about almost a year ago, Babu. It's been a while since I talked to you. I remember when I had to leave Jersey for severe battered women syndrome, and I had to write a book, but I needed a change of atmosphere to get me to a better place. And I haven't talked to you since then. I got back. I returned to Jersey after 10 months. Well, I was still coming back to New Jersey for visits often to hang out with my friends and whatnot. But I got back to Jersey. I was only gone for 10 months. Came back home. And I'll tell you, Babu, once I got back home, I'm never leaving again. Never leaving again. I wish I could talk to you privately, Babu. I have a couple of questions. You and I might know the same people, and I'm thinking that you and I already met face-to-face before, but I'm not sure. I might be thinking of someone else. But Anyway, Babu, I'm great. I'm so happy to see you, because seeing you, it's like being back home, you know? Yeah, people get addicted to the hell that is Jersey. um, so, what can I tell you? What else? I'm forgetting what's in my Bible code, but it does say that I'm his remnant. You know, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh has the 144,000, but Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh always sets aside a group of people as his remnant, and we've seen that in different stories throughout the Holy Bible. My code does say that I'm the remnant. Once my Holy Bible code was given to me at the beginning of 2020, two different tribes, I'm talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, two different tribes came to me and said, Holly, you're one of the tribes. You're a part of one of them. Now, I had a dream. I asked Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh a long time ago what my bloodlines were, and he gave me a dream back in 2014, and he showed me Enoch, and he showed me the bloodlines going from Enoch all the way to Noah, and then all the way down to me. Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh showed me bloodlines of other people, but he showed me my bloodlines. It goes from Enoch down through Noah down to me. So I always thought that was the tribe of Reuben. The tribe of Dan told me I'm one of the tribes, and I think the tribe of Nephtali, they said I'm one of the tribes. Actually, Judah, the tribe of Judah, also came to me and said, Holly, you're a part of one of the tribes. And they're the ones that said Reuben, although the other people have said probably the tribe of Dan. Because if you take the tribes and you throw them into the dumps, you're throwing God's pearls to the lions. And, you know, they're not going to just take a Gentile. They're going to take the tribes and enslave them and beat them and murder them and put them through hell. Because it's through, right, one of the tribes of Israel. It's through that one of those bloodlines, I believe the tribe of Judah, that is the bloodline that Yeshua was born from, right? Good morning, Taking Back Eden. How are you? Especially considering, yes, everything's doing well. I wanted to get into doing Bible codes, but the software wasn't working on my computer. And I know that you really should be able to speak Hebrew for this, which I don't. And there's a lot that goes in it, too. Emmanuel from Judah, thank you, Babu. Yeah, they're abusing the tribes for their blessings and birthrights. Thank you so much, Chris. Right, I'm doing a bad job explaining it in layman's terms. Thank you guys for helping me. Nephtali, thank you. Aw, thank you, Taking Back Eden. I'm hanging in there. Going through. I'm starting to switch over to like Parler and MeWe and Gab. I'm taking my diary, ruminations, and confessions. I'm moving away from Facebook, and I'm going to start posting that stuff on Gab and MeWe. My diary is where I work things out. I talk about my most inner thoughts and feelings, and then I give my confessions to Yeshua publicly because I want to be your watchman, because I want to serve him, because I want to carry his gospel. I feel that I should rightfully be open as a book with you guys. So I don't know. I just want Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh to say she's mine. And what got me about the Holy Bible Code, this is the kicker. Nobody knew this, but now everybody does. When the code searchers gave me my Bible code, they didn't know this, but when I went, they gave me my Bible code. They said, Holly, up here, I think it's on this sheet. It might be on the second page that I have that I don't have displayed on the screen right now. But there's one section where it says in my Holy Bible Code, she is mine. She is mine. When I went through my freedom deliverance in March 2015, when Yud Vav Hey showed up in my kitchen while I was doing dishes, he stretched out his arm and he kind of pushed me back and pushed me behind his arm, and he screamed, she is mine, she will always be mine. And that thing that I was possessed with came out of my chest, stretched and shrieked and flew out the roof. The 3 names that I was given was Beelzebub, Osiris, and Thoth. So when I went through my freedom deliverance, Yud Vav Hey said, she's mine. She will always be mine. That was in 2015. Fast forward to March, April 2020, I get my Holy Bible Code. And in my Holy Bible Code, it states, she is mine. Hey, Angelina Z. Yeah, I'm getting away from Facebook. Doc, I miss you. Miwi, Gab, and I can't get on a Parlor. But yeah, I'm getting away from Facebook. I could put stuff up on YouTube, my ruminations and confessions, but I don't know. I kind of just like running videos on YouTube. What I want to do is, if I can get financially set, I want to run live streams from hollybaglio.com directly. That way I'm not censored. Facebook keeps taking everything down because I can't understand why Facebook keeps taking all my posts down. I'm very honest, and I think I'm very generous when I say I don't like our current president bigot and vice president cunt. Cannot understand normal thinking. Mark Zuckerberg gets ticked off and keeps taking down my posts. So what I do is I take a picture of my post, turn it into a meme. So they take my post down, I turn around, take a picture of it, and then I just put it right back up. But I post it as a meme instead of like typed out. And so far they're not banning my memes. Good morning, Colleen. Love and blessings from Jersey to Colorado. Thank you, Chris. That means a lot, Chris, because I think I'm going under some form of spiritual attack. I was telling Yud Vav Hey, I know that he's the truth and I know he didn't lie to me, but I feel I'm going to stop there because I feel like, I'm going under a spiritual attack and I don't want to get into the spiritual attack. I'd rather focus on incest. Oh, meme. Sorry. Meme. Hughes cues spreading dis-ease. Oh my goodness. I apologize to Q followers. My issue is not with you personally. My issue is with Q, and it is a personal one. It is a CIA op. It is 3 people. That is fact. It is not John Kennedy. John is dead, and anybody who says that he's alive, I want to see you go to Carolyn Kennedy, his sister, and tell his sister that her brother is still alive. And then I want you to go and tell all the Kennedys and all their family friends that John is still alive. Because when I go and I talk to my friends from Chester and Far Hills that grew up with the Kennedys, you want to know what the reaction is when I tell them about Q and the people on the internet talking about John? they get pissed and they start crying. Oh my God, Holly, it was a closed casket. That family went through hell. I had a limo they sent a limo for me to go to the funeral, Holly. I grew up with the Kennedys. John is dead. Now I see why they say Q-tards. How could you guys do that? No, Colleen, you're fine. I'm not going to stay on it. No, you're fine, Colleen. But this Q nonsense, everything Q has said has been wrong. Now Q's saying Trump's coming back in March. When March comes and passes and Trump's not back in office, I want those Q followers to turn around and go to every single soul that they ever turned on to Q and spoke about Q2. I want them to go to every single person and apologize for spreading lies, for spreading misinformation. So Q's been wrong 90% of the time, and when Q becomes wrong 100% of the time in March and Trump doesn't come back in office, I'm going to expect every Q follower to come to me and the other survivors and the other people who aren't even survivors. And I'm going to expect you Q followers to apologize to us for spreading disinformation. I call you guys to be accountable for what you've done. The same way you make me accountable for stuff and call me into repentance, I'm calling all you Q followers into repentance. And as far as Q, I pray Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey has his wrath and revenge on you. You have done nothing. Okay, you did do something good. You woke people up to deep underground military bases and to ex-super soldiers. You did at least that much. Bring awareness. But after that, you're nothing but disinformation. And thank you, Q, and all your followers. When I'm done with this video, do you know where I get to go? Let me tell you the repercussions of your bullshit, Q. I get to go visit my friend who's over 80 years old, and I get to explain to her that what Q and Q's followers are doing is misinformation. John is dead. Stop crying. This woman got shocked 3 days ago by some Q follower. Now this Q follower shocks this 80-year-old lady. Now I get to go visit the 80-year-old lady and undo the damage done by that Q follower telling her, oh, John's still alive. Trump's coming back into office. And this 80-year-old lady's sitting there on the verge of having a damn heart attack regarding misinformation. So I get to go clean up the mess that another Q follower left behind. Q has not told you anything more than I, Holly Baglio, have. You want to know about super soldier projects? I told you. Q is a CIA op. Now, for you Q followers, I get to go clean up your mess. And when March 31st rolls around, I'm going to expect you guys to be apologizing to everybody you told about Q and about all that misinformation. Because it's people like me that get stuck cleaning up your messes. Anunnaki are real. Yeah, you're right. Anunnaki are real. Aliens, that's all real. I'm probably misunderstanding taking back eating because I just stepped in the middle of your conversation and I was rude and I am sorry. I was rude to you taking back eating. I apologize. Hey, Beaver. How you doing, Beaver? It's great to see you. I'm really upset when I was down in Maryland. I couldn't come visit you. Oh, who's Beaver? Who's his wife? Who's this? Who's that? How do you know them? Oh, no, it's not a good idea if you go visit them. Oh, you got friends that you want to visit? Holly, no, you can't go visit them. Does he believe in Jesus? How long does he believe in Jesus? What does him and his wife do for a living? Where do they live? Do they have kids? How long they've been married? What colors do they like? What food do they eat? Do they pee standing up or sitting down? Do they blow their nose in a tissue, or do they play air hockey with it? So sorry I never got to visit you, but I wasn't in the right place to come hang out with my friends. Every time I got a chance to hang out with my friends and I was in the area, no, can't do it. I'm being handled. And Abba's giving me dreams about the handlers accepting black money to handle me. I'm going to listen to you, Vave. Anyway, yes, Babu. Purim is at the end of February. I doubt if America will last past then. Okay. Listen, I'm a flawed, finite human. I'm full of solipsism and personal opinions. Please do your own research and studies. You know, don't take my word for it. Definitely don't take my word for it. But, yeah. If Trump was going to come back in March, I don't think he would have written Bigot a generous letter. So, I'm dead serious about all this Q stuff. I'm going to expect apologies from you guys at the end of March, and if I don't get it, I'm never going to listen to you guys again or trust you. Seriously, I'm not. I've been lied to enough as an ex-super soldier. The last thing I'm going to do is take on board more friends to give me disinformation. Go wrap your minds around that. I can't stand with this Timothy Holmes Seth and his friends lying about kids being saved from dumbs. It's a lie. Vave told me it's a lie, and still people flock to listen to him, and worse than that, they still distribute all of that misinformation. All of you, I'm telling you, I'm calling you into repentance, and how dare you mislead a survivor like me. So you remember, when you give me misinformation, you look at my face and you remember that you gave me misinformation, because it wasn't bad enough I had to make it through Joseph Mengele and all the Illuminati and the dumbs and the gauntlet of MK Ultra and Super Soldier projects and the dumbs. That wasn't enough. Now that I'm out, you're giving me misinformation. It is like that, and that's the truth of the matter. How could you do that? What's wrong with you that you don't have discernment? What's wrong with you? Because it's not God making the mistake, it's you. Now let's get back on to incest. Colleen, in small numbers, yes. I just heard of 30 kids getting rescued the other day from deep underground military bases. No, they're not. If anything, I would believe that they collapsed a dumb. But if they collapse the dumb, all the kids, all the programmers, all of it stays inside and goes down with it. Colleen, what I don't understand is the public thinks, oh yeah, we're just going to march into a dumb and save kids from a cage. They don't understand these kids are programmed, chipped, and surgically enhanced. Okay, you're going to have one fucking fight on your hands. First of all, you're not getting in a dumb. Okay, Marines don't have access. Dumbs are not under the control of humans. They're under the control of aliens or the Illuminati. The Illuminati are not humans. So there again, they look human, but they're not. The dumbs are under their control. You're not just waltzing in a dumb and saving anything. It's common knowledge. Is Jamie still here? I hope he's in my chat. Jamie, listen. Rosalind, I love you very much. Very small numbers. Yes, Rosalind, but they're not being saved from underground military bases. We kind of got sidetracked on the incest topic, because that's what I wanted to focus on, but we got talking on other topics. I hope you guys don't mind. I'll change the title later. Who rules Illuminati? Well, Satan's at the top. Is it reptilians? Yeah, it's Rothschilds, Rockefellers. You got the Morgans, Wahlbergs, Sinclair, who else? Collins. They are not human like us. Colleen, Babu, Nikki, Jamie, we're human. Now, they might appear to look like us, but they are not human like us. They're not running on the same cylinders. They're not thinking like us. You're fine, Colleen. Okay, Jamie. It is common knowledge that you cannot say Yeshua or Jesus in a dumb. It's very common knowledge. Anybody can get their hands on that knowledge, Jamie. Don't let people fool you. If people want to talk about dumbs, they best start backing their shit up or they're full of bullshit. Jamie, it's common knowledge you cannot say Yeshua in the dumbs. Everybody knows that. There have been whistleblowers that come forward that tell you that they've had to sign contracts that say they won't say Jesus even if they're using his name in an unflattering way. Don't let people trick you, Jamie. Or meat popsicles. I love you guys. Yeah, no. Stick by me, Jamie. I'll let you know. That is just common knowledge. Everybody knows that. So, yeah, you're not going into a dumb and saving a kid. It sounds like a really seductive, sensationalism, great headline, but it's not the truth. I went before Abba and he said, no, it's not the truth. Hey, Impaler! How you doing? 33 kids like a week ago. Yes, that's it, Impaler. Yes, we were talking about that. Yes, that's true. I love you back taken, Eden. As for recruiting, I would like to see all people rescued that are trafficked. Yes. Yes. Hey, Bonnie, sweetie pie. My love to you, your aunt, and your fur babies. I'll get to talking about incest in a little bit. Well, thank you for loving me. And thank you for letting me love you back. You're a sweetheart, Chris. Thank you. Do you hear that? I'm going to fucking snap and I'm going to walk out this door and I'm going to go bust down another one and tell him to shut up. Do you guys hear that? Oh, these people are lucky. The cop's not sitting outside. If he was still sitting outside, because there's a speed trap by my house, right? If he was still sitting outside, I would have waved him down and brought him in. There's a situation on the property, and I've had it. It's a situation with other people, but the reason why I've had it and I'm involving myself is because there's very young children around the age of 2 or 3. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but if you hear that yelling, please let me know. I got to shut down the video. Sadly, I am an ex-super soldier, but Bonnie, I'm humbled that you would still love me. No, I'm not in a tunnel. Me, I'm mad because there's people fighting. I can't take it. It triggers me. I get shaky. I don't know what to do. Usually, I run away so I don't hear it. I take my dog and I run away. And then when I come back, the fighting's done, so I'm not exposed. But it's very cold outside. I can't take my dog and go away until the fighting's done. Do you guys hear that? Okay, I'm going to focus on you guys and breathe, right? Breathe, Holly. I can't take that fighting. Oh my God, I can't take that fighting. Yeah, Babu and their babies. They're babies, Babu. They remind me of my baby alters. That's another reason why I prefer not to be around children at this time in my life, is because I am reintegrating and I have a lot of childlike alters. And my choice of atmosphere is to be in an adult atmosphere all the time, preferably. So there's people that, I don't want to get in this situation, but let's just say I'm not the only person that rents here. And I can't take the fighting. I can't do it. It shakes. I can't do it. All right, so I'm sorry about my language. You can hear it, Bonnie? I am okay, Colleen. The other tenants are not okay. I'd like to counsel them as an ordained minister, but I don't know that both parties would be willing to do that, to get counseling through Yeshua, Yeshua being the focal point, to be counseled in their marriage, because they're a married couple, but to counsel them in Yeshua to bring their marriage back together. I would love to do that, but I don't think that that's a possibility. I'm sorry. My altars are forward. Rowdy. Colleen, it's a lot worse than that. They're a very young couple. There's a lot of cheating involved. There's drugs involved. A lot of cheating involved. A lot of tit for tat. Well, he did this, so I'll do that, or she did this, so I'll do this, so it's the back and forth. They're very antagonistic. One person has a problem with the other one, and now you get the little babies, the babies. I mean, they're 2, 3 years old, so when they cry, Colleen, they still sound like a newborn baby when they cry. I mean, they're walking, but when they cry, they still sound like a newborn baby, but they're walking, right? Well, there's a baby boy and a baby girl, I guess 2, 3 years old. One of them just started sleeping in their own bed. When you get the little baby beds? Babu, I'd love to. I'm half tempted to go bang on the door and say, yo, you guys want to go at it? Cool. Let the kids come play with Aunt Holly. I got markers and crayons, and let them come play with Aunt Holly, and you guys go at it. They don't need to see it. Let them come hang out with me. All right, so the one little baby will come out and be like, give me my money, bitch. Give me my money, whore. So now the little babies were running around the house saying what the other parent was saying during the fight. That broke me. That's when I snapped. So I fight hard to hang on. I don't call the cops. I don't get involved. They're not paying rent. They're illegally squatting here. It's bad. It's bad. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Oh, I hope you have a beautiful day taking back Eden. Chris, you're awesome. Lincoln. Everybody, this is my really good friend Lincoln, who I haven't spoken to in like a month and a half. And him and I would have long conversations. And I haven't talked to him in a long, long time. Lincoln, I love you, sweetheart. You are a good friend to me. And Lincoln, my videos about infiltrators or trolls or haters or anybody else is not about you. I will be honest, Lincoln. I want your testimony. You're not going to give it to me. You're not going to come public. I get that and I respect that. But Lincoln, you're one of the people I want on my panel to take the testimony of. I believe you. And you're my friend. And my videos are not about you. Impaler. Babu, the landlord knows about it. The landlord has cameras all around the house, and the police have access to said cameras. Good morning, Shawnette Priest. I thank you, Shawnette. I'm humbled, and I pray that for you, and I pray that for everyone in my chat room. If I'm missing comments, I'm not trying to be rude. While bedridden? Oh my goodness, Shawnette. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Enoel! Yeshua blessings, good morning. Good, the fighting calmed down. It gets bad. It gets so bad, like, oh, it's bad. With the slamming things, the windows rattle. The worst is the older lady. She gets really shaken. She gets really shaken when these kids go at it, so. Yeah, the landlord knows. There's big issues here, so they're having trouble. Well, leave kids by and be loyal to dudes who ain't worth a pot, right? But run from legit dudes, and same goes for nice dudes who are loyal to shady females. Both could have a better life. When physically unable. Oh, Shawnette. Yes. You can still be a warrior, even if you have physical limitations. But they left the hotel and she... Oh, wow, Colleen. So, you guys want to switch gears to talk about incest? I agree with all of you in prayer for this. And I pray for that young couple. They need it. So, of all the testimonies that I've heard from other people, incest is the worst. Okay, thanks. I'm typically a loud person and my voice carries, but I laugh too loud, I talk too loud. All right, the hardest testimonies I hear are incest. And incest is way more common than the public wants to admit. I'm trying to think of like a statistic here of all the testimonies I've accepted. Of all the testimonies I accept, at least 50% of them, include incest. Whether you're, okay, so say you just have a normal life, you're a common average person, and say you fall into drugs, or maybe you're raped, or what have you. But nonetheless, you have suffered in your life of traumatic events. 50% of normal people in their testimonies always have incest. When you start talking to satanically ritualized and abused survivors, MK Ultra survivors, 10 times out of 10, it involves incest. Even if it's like someone defects from a military family, they think that they could have been used in these mind control projects. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, there's incest. Incest is big, it's common, and it happens to everyone. More people than you want to admit. I want to pick my words good. I'll start with me. I don't have incest in my family. Now, there were plastic Christians trying to use memory retrieval techniques on me, and trying to tell me that my grandma and my papa that raised me raped me. I don't have any memories of my grandmother and grandfather, William and Millie Gabry. I have no memories of them ever raping me or having sexual relations with me. There was never incest. And as far as going up to Montauk in that lighthouse and my experiences in Montauk, I was never raped by my grandfather. I was never raped by them. Okay? I was in a situation years ago with a plastic Christian couple that kept telling me that my grandparents raped me. So my altar, I love this one altar I got. So my altar came forward. I tapped the altar. I said, you know what? You go. Holly, I'm going to bury myself because I'm so miserable. I can't handle this situation. I'm in a rock and a hard place. I can't deal with it. I tap you in, altar. So this altar came forward, and this altar just basically yesed them to death and agreed with them to death and just told them what they wanted to hear, because everything about them was, ooh, the Rothschilds. Ooh, there's Holly Bagley. Oh, she's royalty. It's the Rothschilds, royalty, Rothschilds. Ooh. It was that kind of situation. So my altar that I tapped to come forward, I told her, just do whatever it is you do. I'm not worried whatever you say. Go. Go. So she just yesed them to death. Everything was about the dumb. Everything was about the Rothschilds and royalty. Oh my God, Holly did a video, and ooh, we've got royalty sitting at a dining room table eating dinner with us. Royalty, Holly Bagley's royalty. And in the same breath, they would also turn around and say that they're children of God. No, you're not. If you were really a child of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, you'd know Yeshua HaMashiach is the only royalty. And if you are saved and baptized to him, sold out solely on him, then you too are a child of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, if you're going to call Rothschild's royalty, I am going to go out on a limb and I am going to say you are not a child of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Because if you were, you would know that Yeshua is royalty. And you as his child are royalty too, because he covers you in his blood. Shawnette. Oh, Karen. Hey, Karen, how you doing, sweetheart? One of the Holy Bible Code Searchers approached me, and I was fortunate because they let me come join their Holy Bible study group, and I loved studying with them, Karen. They are spot on. They're like definitely scripturally sound. They're definitely of sound doctrine because they're scouring the Holy Bible. So they're definitely of sound doctrine. The one person actually came to me. I guess my testimony had touched her, and she took it upon herself to look me up. And boy, I hope Yud-Hey Vav-Hey builds her own castle up in heaven for what she did to me, because me and my altars really needed to be reassured that I am Yeshua's. I am Yud-Hey Vav-Hey's. I am the Holy Spirit's. I am His, and He is mine. I really, especially like last night, I fell into spiritual attack. I really, really needed it. Am I related to the Rothschilds? No, I am not. I am not a Rothschild. My name is Holly Baglio. I am the spitting image of my father, Philip Samuel Ross Baglio, who is deceased. What happened to me, Babu, is that I have two names. I'll tell you in private, but I'm not going to tell you publicly, and I'm sure you can already figure some things out. I have two names. What happened, Babu, I'm going to put it to you in layman's terms. Where is... Okay, guys, can you remind me of the Bible code questions at the end of the video, and I will tell you where you can start to link up with Holy Bible Code searchers. Because it's the same way I did. I started watching someone, I saw someone on Paul Begley's. I don't follow Paul Begley anymore. I started to follow Jonathan, this code searcher, through the years, and I was just through the years, I just bumped into someone, or to these Bible code searchers. I'll give you the link, though, of how I even got in touch with these people. I have had the pleasure of having Doug Fassett on my panel, and he can answer all your Holy Bible code questions. He's blessed me before being on my panel. I hope he comes back again. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm mentioning him. But he is spot on this one. The whole group is. And maybe he'll come back on and let you guys ask him questions. By a neighbor. Oh, man, Colleen. That's still too close. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Good morning, Roxanne. I love you, sweetie pie. And that shaped my thinking along with my stepfather and the new entire Navy community that participated. Yes, Colleen, that, when you're raised around pornography, that will shape you. I remember when my mother first met my stepfather and I had moved into his house in Denellen. There was pornography all over the place. And yes, it does shape you. It really does. I don't mean to laugh. It's not a laughing matter. It's more like an uncomfortable laugh. Oh, these trolls are going to like totally nail me for this video. Good. The video will get under his skin. But yes, it definitely shapes you. The images that you see in porno mags, they stay in your mind's eye, and when you blink and when you're looking at things, all you see is sexual organs everywhere. It does shape you. So a little kid finding a porno mag, that's trauma. It's not funny. It's trauma, and people underestimate it and how traumatizing it is to a kid. What happened to me, Babu, is that one of the Illuminati bloodlines, Illuminati elite bloodlines, Fitz Springmeyer says there's 13. Personally, I think there's only 10 because I can connect 10 bloodlines back to the Holy Bible. I can't connect 13 bloodlines back to the Holy Bible. And unless I can connect it back to Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, I don't listen to it. To me, it's lies or fraud, whether intentional or not. So one of the Illuminati elite bloodlines went up to Joseph Mangli and paid him a lot of money to create an Uberman. So the genes of that Illuminati elite man, plus the genes of my mother and father, were used. So as a petri dish baby, I'm like the other kids that I was trafficked with. Wait, what was that? Hang on. Where'd I go? No. This is my own story. This is my own story. I just got a notification on my screen. I glanced through it real quick, sweetheart. This is my story. I'm not getting it from anyone else. But I will share with you other stories that people have given to me at the end. One of the elites paid Joseph Mengele to create me. So I share the same genes as one of the elite families. I was not born to them in the natural way. I was not conceived with them in the natural way. I was created in a petri dish, as were the other kids that I was trafficked with. So when I say I was born into these programs and I come from the dumbs, in my specific situation, it's a lot more involved than, like, you've heard the stories of the Montauk boys where kids were being kidnapped off the street and put into these mind control projects. Okay, my personal story is more involved than just that. I was born into it. How do you have a Bible code reading? Video games are definitely a part of MK Ultra, absolutely. Do I have a Bible? Karen. My email is hollybaglio11@gmail.com. Let's talk in private, and I can answer more questions. I'll introduce you to someone. If I can. If that's okay. I have to ask them if it's okay with them if I do it. But I'll ask them, can I introduce someone to you? And if they say yes, then Karen, I'll introduce you. I have to ask permissions first. Hang on one second. I know these Bible codes are pretty cool. TheCodeSearcher.com. Oh, that's 2 years ago. Wait a second. Is this his old channel? That's got to be his old channel. I got the Code Searcher's old channel. Karen, let me get you more information, as well as my chat room. Forgive me for being a little outdated. Amazing Polly is connected. I like Amazing Polly. I want to meet her. Ooh, I wonder if she'd ever interview me. Even if she'd come on my channel to interview me or talk. I'd love that. Like an informal type thing. People probably go, oh, there's Holly Baglio, that whack job. Well, I don't mean it be. Okay, so incest. All right, so an Illuminati family paid Joseph Mengele to create me. When I was in the dumbs and I had to live there, I'm not going to say the name. Go read, are you guys on Facebook? Go read my post from Facebook today, because I'm not going to say it here. I will, I have, I just don't want to. It's my level of comfortability. So when I had to live in the dumbs, the elite guy that paid to create me and that put me through these super soldier projects, he impregnated me. Incest is rampant, big, and, okay, in the 13, as Fritz Springmeier says it, in the 13 Illuminati elite bloodlines, incest. It's all incest. All of it. You're not in that family if you're not having incest. Seriously. You want to spit in God's eye? Incest. So, the person that I share the same genetics with in the dumbs impregnated me. He delivered the baby. Upon delivering the baby was to be sacrificed. I didn't want to do it. So I turned the knife on them and I fought. I did not want to murder my baby that had just been delivered. Sadly, I lost. The baby was sacrificed anyway, and I almost bled to death. I had very deep knife wounds all over my body. They forced me to be a part of that sacrifice, and this is what happens with everyone that's born into these projects. So like Queen Elizabeth, I'm going to deflect right now. Queen Elizabeth, right? She's got these grandkids that just got married, right? You had that Meghan girl. Okay, her first kid was sacrificed. So the kid you're looking at now is actually her second child, not her first child. They do that in these elite Illuminati bloodlines. Now, the plastic Christian and that pastor that were using memory retrieval techniques on me honed in on the Rothschilds and honed in on this particularly, which is why I know they were handling me, because they didn't care about anything else. They just cared about if I was sold out on their false doctrine of rapture, and they only cared about the Rothschilds. So they used the name, the plastic Christians, and that pastor that's got satanic clones, and I met the satanic clone in the dump. I'm jumping around for you guys. Excuse me. That pastor that tried to reintegrate me with that plastic Christian, they told me Nathan Bauer. They told me they were using memory retrieval techniques on me purposefully to pull this part of my testimony out. They were showing me pictures of the Cullens bloodline. Oh, we're going to get in trouble if we do this. Yeah, you are. God's got your number. I didn't want to remember this part of my testimony. That's why I locked it up and locked it away. But the Rothschilds are royalty, so we just have to know what Holly's involvement is. And by the way, can you tell us how what'd you do when you had to go pee and you were locked in a cage? Can you tell us? What did that look like? It looked like me pissing in a cage. That's what it looked like. I'm going through forgiveness. I have to forgive the Rothschilds. I have to forgive plastic Christians. I have to forgive handlers that accept black money to try to reprogram me. I have to forgive. If I don't forgive, then Yeshua won't forgive me, and I want his forgiveness. In the dumbs, I was subjected to that elite guy that impregnated me, sacrificed the child. He had me in the dumbs. He treated me that I was his wife. I was to have sex with him and please him and take care of him. The missus, the real missus, she would rape me too, and she would mock me and make fun of me, and they would play, quote-unquote, house in the dumbs with me, where I was the real wife taking care of his needs, but the real missus, she was just there. And this is what they did to me and the kids that were trafficked. Incest. fathers having sex with daughters, having the baby, and then sacrificing it to Baal. My grandparents never had incest with me. At this point, I'm going to rely on the other children that I was trafficked with, and I am at this point going to tell you what they told me. On my father's side of the family, my grandfather, as a matter of fact, he was the administrator to the hospital where I was born, off the boat from Sicily. Apparently he had gotten into some trouble. And according to this other ex-super soldier, the other grandfather brought me into a place, and I either had to do what they told me to do, or one of my family members was going to be murdered, and my grandfather decided that I was going to do what they wanted me to do so that the other family member was not murdered. So this is the other super soldier's testimony about my life. It was not my grandparents that raised me, and I resent the plastic couple for insinuating that, and I do thank my altar who told the plastic couple whatever they wanted to hear to get them out of my hair. I thank her for covering me. I am back home in New Jersey around my family and around my loved ones and around the scenery where I was born. I'm on familiar territory, so I'm comfortable to tell you the truth right now. I'm safe right now. I can tell you right now. I can talk about this right now. I don't have to worry that when I get done with this video that you're going to be like on my door going, oh, will you go lay down? That was me. Go lay down. That was me. Oh, Holly, tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. Oh, Holly, tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us again how you went pee in the cage. Tell us again how you got your period in the cage. Well, guys, all of us children were bare-ass naked in the cage. So what we would do is when the child in the top row of the cages had to go pee, what we would do in the bottom cages beneath them, we would all move to the right side of the cage. The child in the cage above would go to the left side, and on the left side of the cage, they would pee and go poop. It would fall down through the cages, through down to the ground. When that child was done going to the bathroom, the rest of us children could move back through the rest of the cage and lounge out like we were in fucking Aruba. That's how we went pee. Are you happy now, plastic Christian? Are you happy now? When I got my period, I just bled. It would fall on top of the kids below me. That's how we went to the bathroom. I'm really glad that Yeshua has brought me to the forgiveness part of my journey, because I really need to forgive you people that I have resentment towards, because you call Rothschild's royalty and sensationalism is peeing in a cage to you. Now, I've struggled with this for well over a year. You guys have been a part of the videos. Hey, Esther, how are you? I love your name. I love that story in the book, too. Now, I got to forgive people. I got to forgive myself. And I've struggled with this for well over a year. What I am telling you right now is well over 1 full year old. It's old information. Old information. Still very relevant to what I'm going through, because it's my life and my testimony and what I went through. I need like a 60-second break. my Sava Ava? Where is she? Okay. And there's my Keepy Eepies. I love you, pretty girls. Alright, guys, I'm back. So, how is the doctor in the house? So, forgive me for my sailor's mouth. It's going to happen. You are listening to the Core Holly, and you are listening to my altars. The Core Holly forgives plastic Christians, the Rothschilds, and myself. My altars are having an issue. My altars don't feel the same way, and they could care less about forgiving anyone. So through this forgiveness process, I'm struggling. When I'm done with the forgiveness process, I'm going to give you guys a very detailed testimony about what I went through. A lot of this is spiritual warfare. A lot of it has to do with my physical body and my spiritual body. And I have to stop right there, because if I tell you any more, those witches and sorcerers, trolls and haters and adversaries are going to do satanic rituals, sacrifices, and magic to purposefully set up a stumbling block in my recovery so I can't get past it. How can I contact you? hollybaglio11@gmail.com. That's my email. That's my main email that I work off of with everything, to be honest. Like, that's my main one. I hate admitting it, but I deleted my other main one, but I lost a whole bunch of documents that I needed for court, so I'll never delete another email again. So it's hollybaglio11@gmail. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so you have those messengers to contact me. I'm on Skype. I'll give you my Skype address. You can contact me there. I'm not done talking about incest, though. This is a big topic, and I'm going to talk about it. I am not using names. I am not using names. So if I don't use names, it ain't slander. Now, I've used my name, and I've told you my testimony. Now I'm going to share with you stories that I have heard in life about incest. It's very common, guys. All the MK Ultras and SRA survivors I've ever talked to have been exposed to incest. And forgive me for my wording, but I come from the dumbs, right? But then you have people that are not satanically ritualized and abused. They're not from MK Ultra and Super Soldier projects. They're not from the dumbs. So we'll call them common people. Please don't think of that as a slight. I'm not slighting you. If I could be a common person, I would trade you my shoes in a heartbeat. Honest, I would. I didn't want my life. I didn't ask for it. And I don't know why I'm alive. I should have been dead, along with the other kids that didn't make it. I guess Abba has plans for me after all. Good, because I don't want to be a waste. But anyway, so you have common people, and then you got people like me, all right? So, common, everyday people, common people. At least 50% of the stories I take from them. At least. Actually, I can say more than that. I can say 65% of testimonies, 70% of testimonies from common people that confide in me include incest. And it's the hardest thing I have to listen to. It rips my heart out every single time. Fathers having sex with their daughters and the mothers not caring. The mother's turning a blind eye while the stepfather beats their kid and or rapes them. Brothers and sisters raping their siblings, for instance. I had taken the testimony. I don't want to start off with that one. But it's sticking out in my head. I had taken a testimony from someone that said that was like fishing. They're like, Holly, so what do other survivors talk to you about? So, Holly, what do they say about rape? Like, so, Holly, who did they say raped them? Was it ever a family member? You know, I could see this person humming and hawing, you know, skirting around the situation. So I was like, yeah, I take a lot of testimonies about incest, and it kills me. It's the hardest thing I have to listen to is about incest. And the person said, well, when I was a little kid, my brother and I were running around, horsing around, playing games, laughing, you know, playing. We were little kids. The next thing I know, my brother grabbed a hold of me, bent me over, ripped down my pants, and started having sex with me. When it was done and over, he just played around like it was no big deal and like it was a certain normal, common thing to have happen. And it was just all in horsing around, and it was all just in fun and games. But my brother raped me. I took another testimony, 4 years old. This girl says to me, Holly, I was 4 years old. My brother raped me and my mother turned a blind eye. Holly, my uncle raped me. Now this testimony, I'm going to be specific about this testimony because if I get any backlash, I'm going to yell at you for giving me backlash. This testimony is going back 3 years ago. Nobody in my chat room knows this person. Well, you know him, but he's not in my chat room. He hasn't been in my chat room. So this story is at least 3 years old. So if you're current day listening to this, no, it's not about you. I know it sounds like you, but it's not you. And I'm not going to say who it is because it's a really, I would say, famous person. Famous because they're a whistleblower and they're exposing darkness. See, famous to me is not Hollywood actors and actresses in the music industry. That's not famous to me. Famous is being a whistleblower. Famous is fulfilling your calling that Yud-Hey Vav-Hey put on your life. That's like who I consider famous, honestly. Seriously, you can tell because you put me in the room with Russ Disner and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's Russ! Holly, my uncle raped me. I turned around and raped my stepbrother. And I was not a child when it happened, Holly. Holly, you talk about predators. I'm classified as a predator. Holly, how does Jesus forgive someone like me? I want forgiveness, Holly. You some of the causes for some of my friends to be gay or bi or transgender, do you know, sometimes the cause of them being like that is because they were raped by a family member? Incest kills me. It rips out my heart. Every time I hear about it, I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't know what to say to the victims of such. I mean, it's a very icky, yucky type subject, but the thing is, it's a very common subject. Hey, Christine, I love you, sweetheart. Incest is very common, guys. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I know you're going to feel embarrassed. I have been exposed to incest. I had to have sex with someone in my family so they would not kill another member of my family, and that goes back to mafia stuff. That does not go back to William and Millie Gabory, like the plastic Christians wanted it to. Oh my God, you were raped in a Montauk lighthouse. Your grandfather did that to you, Holly? No, but that's what you want to hear because you got stars in your eyes. So you know what? I'll let you think whatever the hell you want to think. And me and the truth will continue chasing after Yeshua. Get me back home. No, I'm not living with you forever. This was always only ever temporary. I'm not living with you forever. And you are not taking me home because when I go home, you're not welcome there. And you will never be welcome there. So, growing up, the only incest I ever heard was this, but I'm suspect of it. You know, I remember my great-grandmother, Kucher, on my mother's side, when I was 2 years old. 3 years old, not even. I think I was like a year and a half, 2 years old. I remember my great-grandmother. And my grandparents raised me. So my grandparents, brothers and sisters, were my great uncles and great aunts. So my great uncle Elwood, I love that name, Elwood. My great uncle Elwood married my Aunt Laura, and she had 6 digits on each hand and 6 digits on each foot. And she always said that she had 6 fingers and 6 toes. She always said that that was from incest in her family. And when my great aunt and great uncle had kids, their 2 kids, my first cousins, each child was born with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. And even my grandmother had said, Holly, that's from incest. It's a birth defect. Well, hold that thought right there. I wish I had known all of this stuff today, back then, because then I could turn around and say, hey, Graham, no offense, but don't you think something's a little bit fishy? I come from the Dumbs, and now Aunt Laura marries into our family, and she's got 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, and her kids have the same when they're born. Don't you think that's more along the lines of a giant than it is incest? Because I come from the Dumbs, and now you got this woman marrying into the family, having kids. No, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it that it's incest. But so that was the only experience that I had about incest growing up, was that I had heard Aunt Laura, through her family there was incest, and she had married into our family, and she was like I remember Laura, what a sweetheart. I loved her What a great personality and sense of humor. Man, I used to love when Laura came over because I'd get laughing with her. My sister's named after my Aunt Laura. Lara. Lara. Now these trolls, haters, and everything else are going to be like, Laura Baglio, Laura Kuchar, Laura. You guys ain't going to find her. She's sitting right in front of you, but you're still not going to find her. So, I think in my normal life growing up, I don't think that I even had a friend in high school that ever admitted going through incest or having experienced it. Honestly, it's only been since 2014, from the time I was 40, I'm 46 now. It's only been the past 6 years that I've heard about incest, but with every testimony I take, it's incest, incest, incest. It's all over the place. More than 50% of people have experienced it. That's a problem. And you know, every satanically ritualized, abused person out there has gone through it. Incest is a way for Satan to spit in Abba's eye. That's why it's used so much. Don't you remember Commander James Casbolt, Michael Prince, talking about, he talked about the Rothschilds and how they're vampires and how incest is like a normal thing. It's very common. Siblings saying, I was raped by my brother. I was raped by my cousins. I was raped by my mother and her friends. I was raped by my uncle. Now, not all of the time is incest a satanic ritual. You guys are like, what? Now listen. Yes, incest is heinous. It's of the darkness. It is, what can I say? Where are the words? Help me, Abba. Incest is, of the darkness. It's heinous and disgusting. But not everyone that commits incest on you is, while during committing incest on you, doing a satanic ritual. Satanic ritual abuse is separate and distinct from incest. Now, I know everybody wants to group satanic ritual abuse together with incest and lump it all into one ball. No. Because I have met satanically ritualized and abused adults that have never been exposed to incest or exposed to anyone that has experienced incest. Satanic ritual abuse is separate and distinct from incest. They're two different things. I have heard victims of incest come forward and all of a sudden they're satanically ritualized abuse survivors categorizing themselves with me. No. The girl that was raped by her brother at 4 years old, that was not a satanic ritualization. It was not fueled to do a satanic ritual. What the situation was is the brother that raped this 4-year-old girl, he was exposed to incest. Someone else did it to him, and he was reenacting that bad, disgusting behavior onto his sister. Don't confuse the two. I know a lot of times they go hand in hand, but there are occasions where no, they do not go hand in hand. You are looking at a rapist. It's not fueled by Satan. It's not fueled by doing a ritual. It is solely a sick, depraved mind. Now, have any of you been a part of a satanic ritual that involved sex and incest? Hey, Mark, it's great to see you. I got to get back to you. Honey, I want to read your messages, and I want to get back to you. I've had my mind on you constantly. Chris Anonymous, it's great to see you. It's hard being a Chris, and it's going to be even harder for you because we have another Chris in the chat room. It's a Chris's. So let me get back. I can't focus on the chat room and keep my mind on my conversation. I'm not trying to be rude to my chat room. Please forgive me. I have been a part, sadly, of a satanic ritual that included sex. There was a satanic ritual that was performed, and I was raped by another family member during the satanic ritual. No, it was not James Casbolt. I'm going to make that clear right now because of that plastic Christian people. Oh my God, what's she talking about? A satanic ritual? Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Let me tell you who it's not. Sorry, my mind is going in 1,000 different directions, and thoughts pop into my head. Well, they're going to say this, Holly. They're going to say that. I'm nipping it in the butt right now. Yes, I have been a part of a satanic ritual that was forced upon me where I was raped by a family member during a satanic ritual. At that point, that is then deemed and classified as a satanic ritual abuse. But not all incest is satanic ritual abuse. Do not lump them together. Okay, because satanic ritual abuse, you are going to focus on different things when you are healing that person as what you're going to focus on with incest. Incest, it's the most disturbing testimony I've ever taken, and my heart goes out to all my friends that have endured that and gone through it. I can't fathom it. And in the same breath that I say I can't fathom it, I've gone through it. I'm trying to think. Heavenly Abba, help me. But they were in Satanism. Yes, people that rape you can be into Satanism, yes. But if you're talking about satanic ritual abuse, where you are in a satanic ritual being raped, that's a whole other scenario. I'm sorry, it is. You have to make heads or tails of having sex while they're summoning dark powers and principalities, and it's with a family member and other people watching and doing the same. That's satanic ritual abuse. But when you're talking about your father raped you, your uncle raped you, your brother raped you, your sister raped you, that's incest. When you're laid out on an altar and they're summoning a dark power and doing sexual stuff to you, that's satanic ritual abuse. Do you know what it's like to be sprawled out on a table being raped by a family member with everybody watching and chanting? That's a lot different than when you're racing around the house and all of a sudden your uncle grabs you, brings you into another room, rips down your pants, and starts having sex with you. It's still disgusting, ugly, atrocious. It's still of the darkness. It's still of Satan. There is no denying that. And I guess the biggest thing is I want people, the public, to know how big this issue is. It happens to so many others. I don't want the people that have been victimized by incest to look down on themselves. I'll tell you, 9 times, I can't even give a statistic with that. Yes, I've taken testimonies where I was told that someone had experienced incest in their family and then they turned around and they raped other family members. And what do? You know what? You turn to Yeshua HaMashiach. That's what you do. You face up to what you did, and then you let these people live out the rest of their lives in peace. If they want to have you in their life, they can. If they don't want to have you in their life, then don't force yourself in their life. I talk to a lot of victims, but you can't forget the other side of it either. I've spoken to predators. I've spoken to the actual predator themselves that admits, hey, I did this to my family member, I raped them, and I turned around and I did it to somebody else. What do I do, Holly? How's Jesus going to forgive me? And how do I forgive me? And what do I do going forward? I can't face myself in the mirror. It's heinous. I willfully, voluntarily, on my own, did this. I've got no one else to blame. I can't blame it on a satanic ritual happening to me. I can't. I can blame them for raping me and it being incest. I can blame my family member who raped me, it being incest. But I can't blame on anybody else my actions going forward where I then turned around and raped a different family member. What do? The predators deserve forgiveness just as much as the victims. I hear all too often how someone has been victimized. It's like battered women syndrome. You take beating after beating after beating, and then all of a sudden one day, you turn into the villain who's been beating you. You go from being the victim to now being the predator. You've been victimized so much and it happens so much, now all of a sudden the tables turn and you're in the seat doling it out. I want to see these powder puff Christian exercising a dead carnal Christianity that have that wand that sugarcoats everything, twinkle toes. I want to see them minister to a rapist. I want to see them minister to someone that was raped so much that all of a sudden, before you knew it, they became the raper themselves. I guess I'm getting off onto another tangent. Let's stay on incest. We all know that if you're a victim of incest, it damages you with your sexuality. I was raped by women, right? And it shattered me and fractured me so much. It's not incest, but just being raped by another woman and a woman forcing herself on me, my mind split and I was shattered, and a male altar was then formed so that my little child mind could understand why this woman is raping me. So when my mind split and I fractured under that severe trauma and duress, a male altered form, and so now Holly's a boy and she can make sense of why this woman is raping her. And that wasn't even incest. That was Pizzagate, when politicians called and ordered us as fast food. I don't have any Holy Bible scriptures to read about incest. I don't have the words to make it better. But I am going to tell you it's very common. Most likely, 50% of your friends have experienced some sort of incest in their lives, but they've just never told you about it. They covered it up, they hid it, they swept it under the carpet, and they carried on with their lives. But deep down inside, it's still, for a lack of better words, like a thorn in their side. In their side, not pride, but like a thorn in their side. It's still eating at them. It's still there. It messes with your sexuality. It messes with your relationships. It messes with your mind. People of incest blame themselves. They put themselves down. They say, oh, I asked for it. And it's not their fault. They did not ask for it. It's the person that did it to them. The person that did it to them learned that behavior from somewhere else and now is passing it on to them. In a lot of these families, the father will have sex with the daughter will be the wife, the homemaker, the bearer of children, and the actual missus, the actual woman the guy married, well, she's just off doing whatever. But the first daughter born, that's the wife, that's the one that pleases the man, that's the one that takes care of everything. Now, that's a situation I was exposed to in the dumps. In my normal life, no, I wasn't exposed to that. But I have two lives. I come from the dumps, and then I try to live normal like the rest of you. I thought I was a normal person, and then all of a sudden one day, God smacked a seal on my forehead and said, Holly, guess what? You have some pretty bad things to get right with. Just you focus on that picture, and you know that I love you. And you get right with all of these heinous things. And I'll tell you what, guys, I am under some terrible spiritual attack, because if you're on Facebook reading my diary, you're going to see it. You're going to know I'm going through it. But I'm happy to be going through it. I'm happy to be here. So I don't think I did any justice talking about this topic of incest whatsoever. I think I did a shoddy job. Video comments are off? Oh! Oh, I gotta change that. You know what? When I get done reading my autobiography, the last video, I'll put the comments back on after that. I actually was trying to stop my chat room, but I couldn't find the setting for that. I was only able to turn off my comments below the videos, but that's because I was reading my autobiography. I'll turn them back on. Just pick up another video and leave a comment. It goes to my email. I'll get it. It's just sometimes I wish I had the option that when you guys leave comments that I could like actually hit like the audio record button and I could say, okay, hey, Colleen, you asked me this question, blah, 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 instead of me like typing it out, because sometimes it's easier to talk than it is to type. I guess it depends which alters forward. You are too involved with us. I love being involved with you. So, my alters need to learn forgiveness. The core of me is forgiving people, and it's really difficult because at the bottom of this, at the very, 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 very bottom of this, I, Holly, have to go into the bathroom, look in the mirror, look into my own eyes, and find a reason to call myself beautiful. And I'm only beautiful because Yeshua loves me and I'm answering his call. And I had a bad spiritual attack. You want to hear about it maybe? For a minute? Esther, yes, I am critical. I am my own worst enemy. The trolls got nothing on how much I hate myself. They hate me? Psh, pick a number. I'm better at hating me than they could ever dream of being. Okay, so I started to... You want to hear what I wrote? Maybe I could write or read it. If you guys don't mind, I'll hang out here with you for a while, because whatever plans I thought I had today, I think, well, I'm going to hang out with you guys because I need to and I want to. So I'm going to read you my ruminations and confessions. Probably always heard this, but last night I had it out. I hurt Yudhe Vavhe because I took my wedding ring off, and I told him that I am not worth him, and if I'm listening to the wrong voice, I got no right to wear that ring. And Yeshua is my golden bow, and I don't think he wants me. If he did, I'd hear his voice and not the wrong one. Is this a spiritual attack? What's happening to me? I think I'm listening to the wrong voice. I do not believe that Yeshua lied to me. I think he is everything he said he is. But as for me, I think I got it all wrong. I think I am wrong. I think I'm listening to the wrong voice. I think I'm fooling myself. I think I'm a joke. And I hate Satan. I learned a lesson. My place is not to be involved in politics. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm not getting involved again. I will leave that to my brothers and sisters who know what they are doing. I don't. I know nothing of politics. However, I can tell you about your politicians and what they do behind closed doors. Cher is not a politician, but she is a man. Man, I used to love Cher. I used to idolize her. When I was an active super soldier, Cher was there. She was nice to me. Hillary Clinton and Meryl Streep were there too. I hated Hillary. Cher and I would dance around the floor and I would mimic her. She told me I was pretty and I looked like her. Barry Obama is an active super soldier. I should have shot him upon my sight. Those plastic Christians and that pastor who used memory retrieval techniques on me told me that the Rothschilds, Nathan Bauer, they said this name to me, Nathan Bauer. They told me that name. Those plastic Christians and that pastor who used memory retrieval techniques on me told me that the Rothschilds got me pregnant, and then he, the father of the baby, forced me to sacrifice it upon birth. I did not tell my loved ones, who I do trust, like Russ Dizdar, my entire story because I'm still reintegrating, and I don't always feel comfortable. And because of the names, I don't feel comfortable. I remember them splitting my mind, and how come I have trouble with time and space between points. I'm going to tell you guys everything. Get ready. This is just the start. I've got nothing left, so therefore, I'm spilling all of it. I remember David Rene Rothschild. Roland Godfrey took the picture of him if you want to look it up. It is time I will tell you what I remember. Be prepared because it is not gonna be pretty. Since I am safe in my own house and home, and since I am not around those plastic Christians with stars in their eyes, being a fan to super soldiers and not a real friend, now I feel comfortable to tell you. This post is scattered. My thoughts are scattered. I remember Mrs. Rothschild. I hated her. Ugh. I'd love to shave her head. She raped me as well. She always laughed and mocked me when I lived in the dumps. There was a clone of me left in my place, so no one knew. I remember some of the rituals that I was forced to be a part of that involved other Illuminati elites, like the one where there were 7 of us kids, and we had to pick out someone, and then you murdered them, or something like that. It was a part of another elite Illuminati bloodline. You know those rituals? You know those. I'm talking about satanic rituals and satanic sacrifices. There's sacrifices. It's like a rite of passage. You have to go through like these rite of passages with the other Illuminati families to prove yourself to them, and then they accept you. So I'm talking about those satanic rituals. Those things that I had to do with the other kids and the other elites. You know, where they wear the goat's heads, where they're dressed in stuff, where there's blood everywhere, where they sit on their thrones. People hold different objects. There's incantations used. I'm talking about that. They were heinous sacrifices. I am surprised they did not kill me. I must have had some sort of value for them not to do so. I forgave them, but I am working on forgiving Rothschilds. They destroyed me and my life. I wonder why I'm not married with kids. It's because of what he and she did to me. He made me his wife. He played house, so to speak. When I delivered the baby, I tried to kill them instead. It was bad, and I got diced up. I almost bled to death. It was the Rothschilds. Yes, I was also a part of the breeding programs, but that is another story. The story I'm telling you is about incest. Rothschilds and all Illuminati elite families have sex with their family members. This is what they did to me. How gross it is to be raped by your father, give birth, and then sacrifice the child to Baal. I was about 12 years old, I think. And then I have an outburst where I dropped the F-bomb on the Rothschilds. I forgive plastic Christians. I forgive that pastor that has satanic clones, and I do remember his satanic clone from the dumps. I drew his clone a picture, so when I met the original person, I handed it to him, and he could not figure it out. All I know is Russ Dizdar does not have clones, and I can trust Russ because Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey directly led me to Russ, not anybody else. Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey led me to Russ, and my altars approve. I forgive the Illuminati elite bloodlines. I believe there are only 10 bloodlines and not 13 like Fritz and everybody else says there are. The reason being is because the Holy Bible talks about 10, not 13. If I cannot connect it back to the Holy Bible, then it is not true. I forgive everybody in my past, in my normal life. Because I also have that super soldier life. I lived a double life. So in my normal life, everyone is forgiven. I forgive you. I forgive people who think the Illuminati elites are royalty. I forgive people who treat me differently when they find out the truth of what I am. I forgive everybody. I pray my baby altars can forgive the plastic Christians and others for hurting Holly. So far, it is only the core or raw personality that is forgiving everyone. I pray Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey gets me through this Selah. I don't want those plastic Christians knowing any of this about me. I did not want to remember it. I didn't want to remember the Rothschilds, but they purposefully used memory retrieval techniques on me to pull this out. I did not want to remember. They always wanted sensationalism and a new, gory, disgusting story every day about the dumbs. Everything was always about the Rothschilds with those people. Like I said, I'm in the middle of forgiving process. The situation damaged my altars and they are babies, so they don't understand everything. Yeah, I have a lot of ruminations and confessions. Wow, I lost it last night. I did. You know, I had a sinus infection, and the sinus infection throbbed and throbbed my head so bad that it then turned into a migraine. And I made a little bed out in my living room. I made a little nest of fluffy pillows, and I put my sleeping bag down on it. And then I laid on the floor, and I put on Dark Sky Watcher 74 because he's playing awesome videos for days upon days now. And I laid down on the floor, and I tried to sleep, and I just remember my head is bang, 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 bang. And it reminded me of when I was in grammar school, and I'd come home on the school bus, and I would take up the 3-seaters, and I would take up a 3-seater, and I would lay down with my head on my backpack, and the bus driver would stop and have to tell me, Holly, we're here. Well, I could kind of sense when we were there, but she would stop, and sometimes she'd have to help me. And I'd get off the bus. I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, not even. And Grandma would be waiting there, and she'd take my book bag, and she would let me rest my head on her arm, and she'd carry my head in the house. So, So I'm going to tell you guys everything I remember. And I'm not a Rothschild. I'm not an elite Illuminati bloodline. I'm not any of that. Never was. Am not. Never will be. I am paid for by an Illuminati elite bloodline man. Someone paid Joseph Mangley to create me, and I share the same genetics as him. I am his pet project. I am his pet experiment. And the only names I have are Rothschild and Sinclair. You ask my altars about Sinclair, the only thing I can remember and the only thing that comes to mind right now is they like the name Sinclair. but they hate Rothschilds. You ever see that movie Splice? I think was that the movie where that woman is created in a test tube and then she breaks out and she's trying to find like a man to mate with, and every man that hits on her has flaws and is imperfected, so she just kills them. I don't think it was Splice. It probably went by another name. It was a long time ago. So yeah, I'm an experiment from the dumbs. My name is Holly Baglio, and can I be your friend? Now that you know what I am? I told you guys this testimony back in 2014, 2015, and 2016. What I am telling you in this video is no new news. It's old news. I told you back in 2014 about the Rothschilds and how I remember them from the dumbs. I told you back in 2015 I'm a Petri dish baby. Listen to Commander James Casbolt. 2016, I started to get laughed at. So I dropped this part of my testimony and you didn't hear about it again until those plastic Christians came into my life. And Yudhe Vavhe was giving me dreams about them and black money, but I didn't listen. I didn't listen about the black money. I'm listening now. Because when people of Yudhe Vavhe give me donations, Yudhe Vavhe shows me in my dreams, and when I'm donated 20 or 30 bucks, Yudhe Vavhe shows me in their dreams the 20 or $30 lit up in glitter gold. But when somebody is bad, he shows me the bad people and those bad things in black. It's pretty kind of easy, right? So bad stuff black, good stuff all sparkly, beautiful colors. My altars are here, but you guys know that, right? So I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about being in my chat. I'm okay. And I can just tell you everything. I don't have to get worked up and like everything's going to be okay, and I can just tell you and you won't get mad at me, right? Boy, I'm so glad to be back at home in New Jersey, guys. I am so glad to get the worst part of the past 6 years done and over with. I'm so glad to have that book done and written. I am starting a second one, but I go to sleep at night and I have that surreal feeling. I just can't believe this is my life. I don't know what to do with myself. I watched Now You See TV last night talk about false prophets, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, but wait, Yudhe Vavhe told me Trump was going to win by a landslide. That's all Yudhe Vavhe showed me was Trump wins by landslide. That word, landslide. Yudhe Vavhe didn't say anything about him like being in the White House. I just said, is Trump gonna win the second presidency? Yudhe Vavhe showed me landslide. That was it. The word landslide. And that was it. He said nothing more. And now I'm thinking I'm a false prophet because I didn't have all these other details that everybody else had down. And then you got Q saying Trump's coming back when he's not. you guys all knew that everybody's elected and pre-selected. This is all just a show. You guys already knew that. That's why I kept telling you guys that I don't vote. And some of you got it. The majority didn't. But you all said, no, 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 Holly, your vote counts. And I kept saying, no, 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 it does not count. And until Yeshua's name is on the ballot, I'm not voting. But, you know, whatever the elites want is what's going to happen. You don't have a say. You're voting in a beast system, hoping your vote counts while you're participating in the beast system. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You guys go vote like good little sheeple. You guys keep following the same games they used to play with me and the dumbs when they were creating me to be a super soldier, a.k.a. augmented soldier, and used going forward as a Manchurian Candidate. I know you guys have all seen that movie with Denzel Washington, Manchurian Candidate, right? Okay, well, that's the whole point of super soldier projects. Manchurian Candidates, patsies. You know, the elites have their own special police force, and it's super soldiers. And then a president, and we the people have like the Army, Navy, and stuff like that. Well, the elites have their own secret service, and you guys have yours. I just told all of you people that point blank. Hey, Troy, love to you and the Mrs. Sarah UK. How are you? This is really hard. I'm glad I'm hiding behind a camera. I'm sorry I'm not in my chat room and I'm missing some of your comments. River! I thought you had a wrench, River. Where have you been, River? River, you have detention. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm happy to see you. Joshua Conlon, my love to you. It's great to see you. My love and prayers to you and your loved ones. Yeah, we got judged with Biden. It's Barry Obama. Barry Obama is an active super soldier with a dude as a husband. How do you deal with a Manchurian Candidate stalker? Babu, you hire me. I will protect thee. Yeshua, because dark powers and principalities have to listen to Yeshua's name. So if they have to listen to Yeshua's name, then if they're possessed or oppressing a person, it doesn't matter. They still have to listen to Yeshua's name. And when they listen to Yeshua's name, they have to turn around and go back to whence they came. So therefore, they take the person with them. That's why before you go out into public, you bind all demonic possession. You bind all demonic oppression. You bind all demonic influence that works through people. Satan can even work through Christians, okay? They don't want to admit it. Plastic Christians want to say, oh, but Satan only has a certain set of rules that he can work in. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, and I'll see you when you lose defeated. Go sit yourself on the bench until you learn how to be a real warrior. So if these dark powers and principalities have to listen to Yeshua, then you pray to be invisible to your enemy. When you go out in public, you bind all these demonic forces, oppressions, possessions, and influences. You bind them so you are not affected by them. So when you walk into a situation that you have to deal with people, family, friends, coworkers, or just complete strangers, that these humans in the flesh act appropriately because you've bind all the demonic forces down. Haven't you guys ever prayed before you've gone out in public? Or, like, for instance, right? Say you're standing in your kitchen. All of a sudden, your husband gets out of the car. You see him slam shut the door. And you see every footstep he makes, he's pissed. And he comes marching and storming up the stairs, in the door, closes it firmly, starts marching up the stairs. And, you know, for instance, I'll be in prayer. Oh, no, Heavenly Abba, whatever bad day it was, keep the bad day away. I pray for him to feel better, and when he comes in, to know that he's loved and welcomed, and I'm happy to see him, and that day is left behind. And if Satan is trying to work through him to make him feel horrible or try to attack me, I bind and cast down Satan and his cohorts. And I really want my husband, by the time he walks in that door, to just have a different expression on his face, because he looks like he's suffering. Please do not let me get the front end of that. In Yeshua's name, Selah. This is a poor example, right? It is. So anyway, you hear your husband marching up those stairs, and he's pissed, right? But by the time he opens up that door and takes a couple steps in and closes the kitchen door behind him, and he looks up at you while you're standing at the stove, and he's kind of got an expression, but then all of a sudden, you just see a sort of ease come over him. And, Hal, I got a bad day. Ugh, it's not your fault. I won't take it out on you, but I got a bad day, Hal. I want to go visit my punching bag for the next 3 hours. Right? So, the spirit realm has to listen to Yeshua and his name. And if that happens, well, see, before things manifest here in the real world, they happen in the spirit. So if you can intercede by prayers, then what will manifest in reality is a lot better. And that was a poor example. I'm glad you're here, Jamie. You did a great job talking on coaches today. I'm so proud of you to have that courage. And you're among friends here. A lot of us deal with addiction issues. You're not alone. I myself too. Create in me a clean heart. Yud Hey Vav Hey. Create in me a clean heart, pure actions, and a non-quenchable thirst for you. In Yeshua's name, Selah. So that's kind of like where I'm at, and I'm sorry I'm doing like a real terrible job. I don't mean to have bad language. I don't mean to sound revengeful or spiteful or vindictive. What I do mean to do is talk about the processes I'm going through. Because I'm not the only one out there, right? You guys go through it too, right? Alright, so I'm going to put my process up publicly like I've always done. And it looks unbecoming, but for the overall picture, I'm sharing the walk I have with Yeshua, my golden bow. And honestly, I feel like I have no right to call him my golden bow, because last night, I feel like I really hurt him. I'm not trying to test him. I don't know. Uh-oh. Dun, dun. I need, like, new sounds. Remember my cell phone ring? It used to be, wait, hang on, I gotta let it ring. Okay, remember when my phone rang, I used to have Dire Straits, Money for Nothing? Yeah, definitely every day with the spiritual battle. Yeah, I'm dealing with getting rid of my cigarette addiction. I'm going from cigarettes to vaping, though. Cigarettes is the worst chemical I've ever had to deal with quitting. It's so much incorporated into my life. But I'm going to go from cigs to vaping, then to nothing. Yes, CBD works very well. I don't quite... CBD works, but... You're dealing with Chris addiction. American Spirits. Yes, honestly, Rosalind, I went from Marlboro Lights to American Spirits. I liked the brown pack. And what was it? I think the yellow pack, the best. From there, I went to Logic Cigarettes, which was only 1% nicotine at the time. I almost completely quit cigarettes. But sadly, I stuck with it. But yeah, ultimately, I don't want the ball and chain. Kratom Rock, Shawnette. I swear by Kratom. I don't take pain relievers. Although Kratom does speed up my metabolism, very much so. It does stimulate my appetite, so I'm really not hungry. But for pain reliever, oh my goodness. Like, thank you, Yudhe Vavhe, for natural alternatives, natural remedies, things you don't need a doctor for. Thank you for plants. Thank you for what you give to us. I suffered in 2019 very badly for about 5 months. I was even being given a hard time using Kratom, and I said to these people, I said, listen, because you abused marijuana and you were drug dealers of marijuana, and the drug you chose to get addicted to, which I don't know how you got addicted to, was marijuana. And since that's pretty much the only drug you tried outside of alcohol, and now all of a sudden you deem it as Satan, since I can't use that because you don't like it. You like Kathy O'Brien, except for, her talking about medicinal, I'm not talking recreational, I'm talking medicinal. You don't like medicinal marijuana. Gloss over that, right? Anytime they get pissed at me, are you high? No, actually, I'm not high. I just disagree with plasticism. I suffered like you would not believe without medicinal marijuana. I still did what I did because nobody's stopping me. But I started using Kratom, and I was even given a hard time about Kratom. I mean, these people even dictated to me what I should be doing with my doctors and disability. And it's like, yeah, you're handlers. That's not of Yeshua. Clearly not. But I don't have those struggles anymore. Even when I said I was going to get my medicinal license, it was still a very big issue. And I don't like people who make my health issues their business. And when they've abused marijuana, they turn around and tell me I can't use it for medicinal reasons because they have an issue with it. Somehow they addicted themselves and they abused it. So that means for the rest of us, we can't use it. And if we really love Yeshua, then we won't. Now, CBD does not work for me. It puts me in a very bad mood. Just give me the plant. Give me the plant and I will eat the plant. I'm after its medicinal effects. I used to have cervical cancer. My faith in Yeshua and cannabis is what cured me. Cannabis cured me of cervical cancer. Cannabis helps you to deprogram from the MK Ultra and Super Soldier projects I endured. Cannabis helps all of us in multiple ways. It puts me in a very good place in my mind. It works very well. I don't need psychotropic drugs. Just give me the plant. Kratom, though, for actual bone pain and arthritic pain, Kratom knocks it out of me. And I don't need morphine. I don't need oxycodone. I don't need any of that. Kratom is awesome. I can take it once a day and it lasts all day. I remember people giving me a hard time about that. It was like, yo, if I can't take my Kratom, then give me back my 200 and something Dilaudid pills a month and my 200 and something oxycodone and get the fuck out of my ass. Or do I have to hire a doctor to surgically remove you from it? So, guys, don't let anybody else dictate to you your health. Number 1, Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey is your doctor. Number 2, Yeshua HaMashiach is your prescription. Number 3, everybody can see their way out of an A and B conversation. That's how I feel about it. I'm fully disabled. I come from the dumps. I got rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, and endometriosis, irritable bowel syndrome, which is more like Crohn's syndrome, migraines, bipolar, mood swings, PTSD, depression, paranoia. I'm telling you my diagnosis is wait, there's more to come out. Bipolar, paranoia, depression, panic and anxiety, PTSD, mood swings. I have severe bronchial asthma to the point that apparently my lungs will not withstand another asthma attack. I have severe allergies. My tonsils were taken out. I've had 2 operations on my sinuses for nasal polyps. I had cervical cancer. I no longer have cervical cancer. I have Baker's cysts behind both knees and in my spine. I have a bulging disc. My spine has been fractured. My tailbone's been broken. Widespread rheumatoid arthritis, widespread fibromyalgia. What else? Oh, I have high and I have low blood pressure. I have heart arrhythmias. My heart will have erratic heartbeats, but also my heart stops beating. It stops beating. Or it speeds up the beating, and now all of a sudden my heart beats out of my chest. So my heart has issues. Hypertension. Boy, what else were my diagnoses that all these doctors gave to me? What kicked off my disabilities was getting Lyme's disease because I was bit by a recluse spider, and the venom from the recluse spider stayed in me for 8 years. And the doctors conveniently neglect and forget about the fact that when you're bit by a recluse spider, their venom stays in you. Doctors don't speak about that. So I was Spidey Woman for about 8 years, and then all of a sudden it wore off. I'm kidding. Bad attempt at a poor joke. I don't know, what else can I tell you? I have ulcer-like attacks. You know, when your stomach feels like it's white hot and it's going to explode, and you have shooting pains up to your collarbones, and you can't stop vomiting. I get those. Yeah, so if I want to use medicinal marijuana instead of doctor's prescriptions, guess what? I'm going to. Even if you don't want me to, I don't care where I am. I can always walk off, go my own way, and do what I need to be able to kick down the pain, get myself in a good space in my mind, rearrange my attitude, and then rejoin the group. And if somebody has an issue with that, well, it's their issue, not mine. I'm the one who's sick, not them. They're preaching Yeshua, and so am I. I am no less in Yeshua than they are, because I am fully disabled and I need medical help, but they're fully able, fully healthy, and don't need medical help. See, there's no difference between us. They're healthy, I'm not healthy, but we're still loving Yeshua with all our might and all our being. We're still carrying his gospel. See, we all have different calls, different walks. I have a certain sway, style, and swagger on my walk. You guys have different style, grace, and swagger while you're following after a perfect lamb. And why would I judge you for that? Because you're an individual? Good. I don't like to be conformist like all these plastic Christians. Oh, every day's a good day. No, every day is not a good day. Oh, but I've got the joy of God in me and everything's in his hands, and pray for a rapture. Okay, dead carnal Christianity, powder puff, sugar coating, twinkle toes Christians. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but when Yeshua walked the earth, he did not act like you, he did not talk like you, and he was not happy like you. Do you know how I know he wasn't? Every day is Christmas. It doesn't matter if I have the flu. It doesn't matter if I got pink eye because I don't wash my hands after I touch shit. It doesn't matter because every day is Christmas. Because I have the joy of the Lord in me. And Holly, you're not speaking in loving until you sound like I do. You just don't have Yeshua like I do. Okay. Yeshua would walk off on his own to spend time just with him in heavenly Abba Yud Hey Vav Hey. Yeshua suffered severe depression. Yeshua suffered suicidal tendencies and thoughts. When Yeshua touched a person, what they were suffering, he not only felt, but now he carried and thought of about every single day until he was strewn upon that cross. What predators have done that they go before Yeshua to repent for, and what victims have done that go before Yeshua to repent for, Yeshua has carried to the cross. All of it. From victims to predators to victims. He carried it to the cross. He felt it. When Yeshua returns, he's not going to return as a dude in a long white dress passing out daisies and everything's just going to be okay. He's coming back as conqueror, reigning supreme and undefeated, ruling for 1,000 years with an iron rod. Look at the Prince of Persia. He looks like a badass. Have you ever envisioned Yeshua HaMashiach looking like a badass? Well, if not, you should start. You should start to envision him and his armor. You should start to envision him upon his second return coming back to crush evil, to extinct evil underneath his foot. You need to envision that. Hi, Carrie, how are you? I don't know if I got to say hello to you before. Roslyn, if I miss anybody, please forgive me. Lisa, Carrie, Esther, Chris, Papu. All right. I'm not done preaching. Now, just today, I was saying, Yud Hey Vav Hey, I can understand why hearts grow cold and why hearts turn away from you. It may be a spiritual attack or maybe it's a personal problem. But I think I'm going through that very same thing. And while I'm going through this cold heart, I'm looking at you, Abba. I don't want to have this cold heart at you. I know better than that. But I'm feeling this stuff. It's putting a wedge between us. And I feel disgruntled. And I don't want this in my heart. Heavenly Abba, I'm asking the Holy Spirit to help me, take it out of me. If it's a personal defect of my own individual person, correct it, because I don't want it. I really don't want it in me. I don't want that to be about me. If it's a spiritual attack, please help me work through it, because this is a real bad spiritual attack. I took my ring off thinking, you're not coming back for me. It's just like that plastic Christian couple said when they laughed and mocked at me. Oh, Holly, God's not going to marry a human, and you're going to ask him to marry you when he comes back? He's not coming back for just one bride. Hey, Abba, I think those plastic Christians are right, and that's why I take off my ring, because those plastic Christians are exactly why and what they said why I take off my ring, because according to them, I better give your ring back to you. You don't want me. You're not coming back for just one person. And God forbid if it was just one person like me, you wouldn't come back. You'll only come back for everybody. But if it's just one person, Yeshua, you're not coming back. Because that's what I learned from the plastic couple, Christian people. That's what I learned. You're not coming back for one person. You will not come back for one person. You'll only come back for everybody else. Not me. And if it's just me down here, Abba, you're not going to come back. That's what I've learned. That's what my altars learned. So I don't know if it's a spiritual attack or if it's somebody else's problem, but this is how I'm reacting, and this is what I'm taking away from the experience, Heavenly Abba. Can you please sort it out for me? Because I don't know what's going on, Heavenly Abba, and this is what I'm feeling inside. And even though all this plasticity, plastic stuff happened well over a year ago, it is still detrimentally affecting me today. Now, I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to forgive people that have physically, emotionally, and mentally hurt me. And I'm going to need help with that. And I'm going through this forgiveness process, and I'm having one hell of a bad time with it. I don't know what to say for myself, but that's that. I want to get through this. I want to get beyond it. I don't want my thoughts on it. I don't want my conversations on it. I spent enough time on it, and it's eating me alive. And now here I am trying to forgive the Illuminati bloodlines with the memories I got of them. But everything that keeps rearing its nasty, foul head is this plastic Christian. So I got to go through the plastic Christian before the memories. I wish I never met the plastic Christian. That way I could just go straight for the memories and not worry about it. But I already did that. And because of how the public reacted, I quashed it. Then the plastic Christian comes along, raises it up again. And you know what, Abba? I wish it was still squashed. What happens if you piss me off? Carrie, good question. Why do I listen? Because they were dangling things over my head. And because they put themselves in a spot in my life that I didn't have any other choice but to listen to them. Oh, and boy, if they didn't threaten me, man. And they did. They know they threatened me, these plastic Christians. They know they did. Anyway, fuck the police. It's all the Catholics' fault. Okay, what would happen if you pissed me off? I'd probably get a really heightened voice. I'd get all emotional. Tell you how I felt. Tell you off. And then the following day, I would wake up the next morning and come back to you and say, can we talk about it? That's what would happen if you pissed me off. Or if I made a jackass out of myself, I would tell you off, and then the next day wake up and then come back and say, yeah, I got my tail between my legs. I'd like to talk about it. What I'm trying to learn to groom myself to do is to control my emotions, control the tone of my voice, and talk about these situations in a level head. But you know, it also depends what you did that ticked me off as to how I would handle it. Like, if you punched me, if you laid one hand on me that was inconsiderate and foul and ruthless, yes, I'm going to come back at you and defend myself. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to defend myself because you hurt me. Hi, Vicky. Big hugs to you, too. No touch. Yeah, don't touch me. Like, don't touch me. I mean, if we meet each other at a conference, shaking hands and hugs and all that stuff, yes, it's good. Yes, I'm prepared. But like, if I just wake up and roll out of bed, I'm getting my dog water, and all of a sudden you come storming over to me with your hands spread out and, Holly! Oh, you're single, Holly. You're not married. You're an alone girl, and you just had to sleep in a king-size bed alone. Let me put my grubby, icky hands on you and hug you. Yeah, I don't need that. If you see me sitting alone in a pew, or if you see me sitting alone at a concert in a seat by myself, listen, just because I'm there alone doesn't mean you need to come running over to touch me and hug me because I'm alone. Okay? You can come over and speak to me, but yeah, don't touch me. I hate people touching me. Why do people have to touch me? What is it about that? Holly, we have to hold hands to pray. No, actually, you don't need my hand to pray. How about you pray like you always did, and like you always did, it was without my hand. Maybe you need to be looking for Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey's hand to touch. And why are you trying to touch someone who has told you they're autistic? Why are you trying to put your icky, grubby hands on someone that's told you they're autistic and they don't like being touched? Why would you force yourself on them? And now you might know why I'm resentful towards Christians who do that to me. Why does somebody have to touch me? They know I come from Pizzagate. Great. I was poked and prodded in a cage in the Dumbs. I was poked, prodded, felt up, touched down, and all over in Pizzagate. And now here I come in a Christian community, and what do they want to do? They want to get all handsy and grapey with me. I'm not cool with it. And if I'm not allowed to say I'm not cool with it, what the hell is wrong with you calling yourself a Yeshua lover? I'm not down with it. Then you must not know Jesus, Holly, because you won't let us touch you. Oh my God, I've been touched so much. I even got the flu from it in 2019 that I went to see my doctor for. He weighed me, and I weigh the same now that I did back then. People kept their hands off me. I wouldn't have gotten the flu in 2019 and stayed in bed for 4 days. Oh, honey, you're not sick. You can still walk your dog. Oh, okay, so when I'm sick, I'm just supposed to let my dog suffer and piss on the floor? She can't go out because I'm sick? Whatever. I get up and take care of my dog. Sick, not sick. Deathbed, not deathbed. I take care of my fur babies. No thanks to you touching me and touching my food, I got sick. I mean, you're giving yourself pink eye every other week. Yeah, I don't want you touching me and touching my food if you're giving your own body pink eye. That's like a dead giveaway, or is it just me that's being stupid? I never knew what pink eye, I kid you not, guys, I never knew what pink eye was until I was 45 years old. I never knew what pink eye was. I remember going to school when I was in first grade, kindergarten, and second grade. Kids would come in with pink eye, and it was bad, and don't touch the kid with the pink eye. The teachers would say, listen, it's an infection. Don't touch the kid with pink eye. Don't touch it. I'm 45 years old, I find out what pink eye is. 45 years old, I find out what pink eye is, and my reaction was like, oh my God, that is gross. Right? It's shit in your eye. Right? Carrie, it's shit in your eye. So you touch shit and you put it in your eye. I found out about this when I was 45. My reaction must have said it all, Carrie. I kid you not. I'm 45 years old acting like I'm in grammar school. I'm like, what? You just, you got, you didn't wash your hands after changing diapers? What are you doing touching diapers and then not washing your hands and then touching everything else? And now you're touching my food and touching me because you're only able to pray when you touch me? You're kidding, right? And you're how much older than me? I know there's something wrong with me just learning about what pink eye is at the age of 45, but no offense, I never had pink eye. Yeah, that's a household I don't want to be in when COVID is around. Oh my goodness. Holly, what's COVID? What's COVID? Is it from the Doms? Is it the great culling? Culling? No, it's from people that don't wash their hands and elect and pre-select putting shit in their eye. That's how you get COVID-19, COVID 2020, COVID 2021. Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, there's something wrong with me. Whatever you do, don't listen. That's nasty. That's nasty. When you're like 46 years old and you're giving yourself, okay, when you're 50 or 60 something years old and you're getting pink eye, it's self-evident that something's wrong. Just saying, I'm not quite sure. Don't take Holly Baglio's word for it. Definitely do your research and studies. But if you're in your 50s and 60s and you're still giving yourself pink eye, you might want to look into that. Guys, I need 2 seconds of a break. I'm not done. I'm not done. Like, no offense, if I don't want to eat your food, right? If I don't want to eat your food that you cooked because you keep giving yourself pink eye, I really don't think that Holly Baglio is the problem. I really don't think Holly Baglio needs you to bring her into the hospital for anorexia because she doesn't want to eat your food when you keep giving yourself pink eye. I mean, isn't that a no-brainer? It's got to be me. It's got to be me. Now I'm forgiving people, and this is not going to be an easy process. I'm not holding grudges. I am dealing with things head on. And it's tough. It's really tough. Wrong 99% of the time. And the 1% of the time that I do get something right, I clutch onto that. if there's anything I do, I hope it's to get you guys talking, at least talking to Yeshua, because if you start talking to him, then he's got a way to get in to talk to you back and to give you everything. I don't shine a good light on my Lord and Savior, Yud-Hey-Vav-Hey, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit. I don't. I don't shine them in a good light. I am wretched. My altars are not pretty, and nor am I, and I'm not going to make an excuse for that. I'm aiming for heaven. I don't know that I'll be accepted in, but, you know, if I can get you guys to talk to Yeshua, and if I can get you guys to go to heaven for eternity and to have treasures and to be with him happy and just to be with him for eternity, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. My friends are the best part of me, and my friends deserve heaven. Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not your prophet. So please don't ask me, because I don't know. The exposure any different. You gave testimonies of others. The truth was given. That's all you could do. Thank you, Karen. I love you, Andrea. We tend to think they are more than us, but maybe it's the opposite. The broken and saved ones have more complete understanding and a deeper faith. Chris Anonymous. Chris, do you know what my Lynn Lockhart, I first met her back in 2014 and 2015. I fell apart on Facebook, and Lynn L. reached out to me, and she was like, Holly, I saw you go through a spiritual attack. She goes, Holly, sing along with me now, babe. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. You know that song by MC Hammer? Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. All right, so when I go through a spiritual attack, to overcome that fear, because things manifest in front of me, and I get this overcoming fear. So first, Yeshua, and then second, get rid of the fear. So, can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Try to start singing that song, because you can't touch this. I'm in Yeshua. He's in me. He's mine. I'm his. You can't touch this. You're not scaring me. I bind and cast you down. You have to go. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. It's just a good trigger to bring me out of bad places. Hello, Angel Eyes. How are you? You guys are like, oh my God, Holly. Whiskey. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No whiskey for me. I am Irish, German, and Polish on my grandmother's side of the family. Irish, German, and okay, so my grandmother was Irish, German. My papa was Polish. On my dad's side, they were Sicilian. So I'm half Irish, German, Polish, and half Sicilian. Yes. Yes, there are certain alcohols you do not want to feed me. Nostrovia. Get out of here, Casper, right? I will, Colleen, I'll read that. British Islands. Oh boy, guys. I feel better. I definitely feel better. If I were to ask any of you for anything, I would ask this. Please pray for me that me and my alters can forgive other people. I'm not a grudge holder. I am having issues getting over situations. It takes me time. I don't get over things in 3 seconds. Probably get over things in 3 years. And I don't want to feel embarrassed that I need 3 years or I need any length of time to get over stuff. I'm sorry I don't get over stuff quickly. I want to. But if I ask anything from any of you, could you please ask Heavenly Abba, could you please pray to Heavenly Abba for me and my alters to forgive others, but most paramount to forgive me, and for in His time, when I'm ready, to turn the next page to the next thing He wants me to do. I'll accept prayers. And if you don't mind, I don't want to be stuck like this for the rest of my life. Carrie, thanks for saying that. You're German, Irish, and Spanish? Wow. You must look so beautiful. I gotta see a picture of you. I can't in my chat room. Researching my ancestry, finding... You are, Esther? I would love to research my ancestry. I only found out Baglios go back to, I think, the 1100s. Baglios were bailiffs. But as far as my mother's side of the family, I couldn't find anything that went back to the 1100s. You're on Facebook? So am I. I pray back for you, Sarah, UK. I will pray back for you, Esther. I will pray back for all of you. What your needs are and for your wants and desires, I pray that Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh answers all of those prayers for you. I pray that He gives you everything that you need and want in Yeshua's name. But just prayers. I want to get over the things in my heart that I feel are ugly. You know, so I want to forgive the Rothschilds and I want to forgive me. I want to forgive me. I don't know how to forgive me. So, but I'll be praying back. Didn't know how to say no to myself. You're a mutt. You're not a mutt. Is not judging. I'm never going to judge anybody else, Babu. So, look at my track record and my checkered past. Man, for me to judge someone else, you're kidding, right? I would never do that. I would never do that. I have a disgusting, ugly past for which I am still forgiving myself over. So, I wouldn't judge anyone else, that's for sure. You know, people give me their testimonies, and while they're giving me their testimonies, I think, oh my goodness, Abba. I know that you give them forgiveness. And I can see that from here, and I can feel it. They think they've done like the most wretched thing that is unforgivable. But you forgive them. And if there is one thing that I can do, I hope it's to let them know that when they have come to you in repentance, you have returned back in forgiveness. I'm not saying anything good anymore. I'm probably going to let you guys go, right? No, we're not alone. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't judge others, Babu. I wouldn't. You should learn German. 9! That's all you need to know in German, Chris Anonymous. 9! No. Heil Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. That is the only person I hail, is Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. I love my Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. I'm a jealous creation over my Creator, just like our Creator is jealous over each and every one of us. He's jealous. He doesn't want us loving anyone else. I like that. Thanks, Esther. All right, so on this note, I'm going to let you guys go. I apologize for making a bad video. Thank you for helping me and being here with me. I feel comfortable. I feel safe. I feel happy to talk here. I feel happy to talk to all of you. I feel comfortable. And thank you for allowing me this outlet. And more than that, all praise, glory, worship to Heavenly Abba, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, in Yeshua's name. Heavenly Abba, I come before you, and first I'd like to repent for my own actions because of what I'm going through. Heavenly Abba, I ask that you store up more treasures in heaven for everybody that's in my chat room and for everybody that listens. They are such beautiful people, Heavenly Abba, and I know why you love them so much. I can see it from here. Thank you for working through people. Thank you for staying with us. You're loyal to us. You're faithful to forgive. And we're all sinners. Heavenly Abba, I'm not quite sure what to pray. Holy Spirit, please help me. I pray against any retaliation attacks coming in against us in Yeshua's name. Heavenly Abba, I'm really sorry for pushing you. Maybe I'm not pushing you, but maybe it's more like I'm talking to you about some situations that are hard for me. And I feel like I'm pushing you away from me. I feel like I am making it impossible for you to work through me, Heavenly Abba, and I repent. I feel like I'm limiting you. I don't want to be these things. I don't want to have any ugliness inside of me as a person. I want to wish those who are my enemies that threaten my life, threaten to kick my ass, those who actually physically do, I forgive them. Abba, I feel like I am completely failing you. I feel like the harder I try to be obedient, the farther away I fall from it. Heavenly Abba, I feel like I will never have what it takes to measure up. I feel like I'm a disgrace from you, Heavenly Abba. I feel like I'm fooling myself to think I could ever do anything to make you shine your face upon me. And that is the one thing I want so much, is to be able to shine my face to you and have you look upon mine. And I don't feel that I just feel that should I shine my face upon you, you would just look away in a glossy gaze, like you never even saw me. And if you did do that, Heavenly Abba, I wouldn't blame you. I'm from the darkness, and you are the light. But for all my wrongs and for all my ugliness, I really do repent, Heavenly Abba. And you are what I want. You are what I love. You are what I aim for. And I don't care if you don't want me, Heavenly Abba. I'm still seeking and searching after you. If you don't want me, Satan's not going to get me. Well, if you don't want me, Heavenly Abba, I'm just going to sit on top of the gates of heaven watching you, because there's no where else I've got to go, and there's no place else I want to be. And I keep feeling like I'm failing you, left, right, center, sideways, and diagonal. I repent in Yeshua's name. I'm going to close this down, guys. Thanks for listening, and thanks for joining me. WP, how are you? Please forgive me. I'll be praying with and for everyone. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys later.